We've been blessed by a number of encouraging messages given to us over the past few weeks. Now, in the past, we've all gotten so used to living in comfort and peace and just going about our normal daily activities until this current pandemic hit us. It's changed so many things that we've always taken for granted. Now, we've awoken to the reality of just how temporary and vulnerable our lives really are. Every generation seems to have its own disasters to go through, and this one is ours. But being a Christian is more than just a name tag that you and I wear. It defines what it is that we believe in and where we place our faith. Do we put it in God, or do we put it in everything else? What do we stand for, and what do we stand on when we're afraid and when we have no control over our circumstances? Is our foundation the rock of Jesus Christ? Or have we built our lives on something that's less solid than that? We have a God who tells us to come to him with our burdens and our fears. He tells us to put our trust in him. He also tells us that we should pray and that we should make our requests known to him. Matthew 4, verse 4, is where Jesus said, "It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." You see, God doesn't want us to live based only on the physical and on the material life that he's given us. He wants us to live based on his words, because they are what's going to give us life. They're truth. And there's something for us to depend on. After 9/11, many people turned their eyes and their hearts towards God. But then after a short while, things got back to normal and God was once again given the last place in many hearts. Like many of you, I now understand that every single day could be my last. None of us knows the day that you and I are going to take our last breath. And history teaches us that catastrophes and tragedies always fade away into the past. And this current situation will also come to an end, and hopefully it'll be soon. The question for us is that we need to understand, what is it that we're going to take away from this? In Luke 12, verse 16 to 21, Jesus gave us a parable. And it was about a rich fool who was so busy making his plans in order to increase his prosperity. Yet he had no idea that that very night he would die. Now, he was a fool because he gave his entire mind and heart over to this temporary and material world. But he gave no time nor thought over to God, who made him and gave him everything that he had. Matthew 6, verse 21 says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be." That's also why Jesus told us the parable about the 10 virgins. He wants us to be prepared for him. And we just don't know when our final day will arrive. But here's the thing. He still wants us to enjoy this world that he's given to us and the blessings that he's given us, and not to be consumed about when it is that we're going to have our last day. That's also why he taught us about relying on his peace and on his refuge and on his strength while you and I are still here. Jesus said in John 16, verse 33, "I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome the world." Even after we reach the end of this particular trial, and we will, while we're still here in this world, there will always be new trials for us to face. We could either face them with peace and strength because of our faith in Jesus Christ and in his promises, or we could take fear and hold on to it and let it dominate our thoughts. Every Christian who came before you and me had to struggle between having fear or having faith. During times like this, let's let Jesus be our refuge and our strength and our peace. Amen?